Good morning. Today is Tuesday. Tuesday is the day governed by Mars, and Mars is in Sagittarius. And the moon is also in Sagittarius, and we are in the balsamic phase of the moon. And the balsamic phase is the dark of the moon, right? So this energy, it's literally like we have three separate temperatures running. Mars and Sag is a very rapid energy. It's literally like race cars driving by. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's like that, right? And then the moon in Sag it's a watery energy. It's very intuitive. There's a lot of intuition, but Sag is fire, so it's a rapid energy as well. It's just like hot water, is what I would say. So Mars is in Sag, the moon is in Sag, and then the balsamic, the dark energy, right? We're in the dark of the moon. So it's just imagine all of this happening and you can't see anything. Like, you have race cars going by, the air is kind of warm and, muggy, and it's black. You can't see anything. So that's the energy of today. And the sun just moved into Aquarius. So, yeah, it's just a lot. There's a lot going on. And so the energy of Mars is an opportunity for us to really take action, like get clear, like your mind. This is an energetic of, Sagittarius is about truth, what you believe, who you are. It's about living your truth. It's about being true to yourself. It's about really being loyal to your own voice, especially with the sun in Aquarius. It's like, what do you believe? What do you need? Who are you? What's your philosophy? What are the things that matter, that make you who you are? And then how can you organize that in a way that allows you to deliver your own uniqueness to the world? And Sagittarius is it's an energy of higher wisdom. It's an energy of high knowledge. It's an energy of empowered thinking and knowing. It's it's a godlike energy. And so it's this opportunity to access what you know that you know that you know, right? What do you know that you know that you know? I know for me, for instance, when I was little, I had this really interesting thing. I've been on this kick about men lately, so I'm going to just stay with it. I was raised in Watts, and I was surrounded by drug addicts and heroin users and dealers, and the men in my community there was so much despair. And I remember a voice inside of me that would say, when I was little, as a little girl, this voice inside of me would say, never call men dogs and never believe that all men are bad. When I was only surrounded by this thing that, by men who were full of despair, heartbroken, making choices that were really negative. And my heart would say to me, never call men dogs and never believe that all men are bad. And I knew that, all my life, even though I've had the most challenging relationships with men, I have always known that men are inherently good. I have always known it. And it's just been a voice inside of me that has known that. And so, and even when I've been having challenging experiences, I've been like, I know that this man is good. And so I started doing research on my father to really understand my father and why he was the way that he was. And what I discovered in my research was that my grandmother, his mother, was deathly afraid of her children being taken from her. She had 5 boys. Her children, she was afraid of them being killed. She was afraid of them going to jail. She was afraid of being a black woman raising black boys in this country. And she instilled a great deal of fear in her children, and she didn't love them in the way they needed to be loved because of her fear. And that thing that my grandmother did really impacted my father and created a great deal of angry energy inside of him. And he became very disruptive and felt very abandoned and isolated because his mother wasn't nurturing him in the way he needed as a child. And so that showed up with him hating women. And so he was very abusive to my mother. He was very just angry all the time. But when I started to see what the connection was, that voice in my head proved true. Men are not bad. Everything is cause and effect. Everything is cause and effect. And the cause of my father's behavior was my grandmother's fear of losing her son. Did she know that? No, she didn't. She thought she was doing absolutely the right thing, and she likely was. And her fear came from being an American black woman, a descendant of slaves in Louisiana in this country. So everything is connected. And when we start to realize that nothing is happening in a vacuum, it just frees us up. So I encourage you on a day like today to get clear about what you know, right? That's the moon in Sagittarius. What do you know for sure? And then with Mars, Mars is about action. And how does that thing that you know live, and how is it activated in your life? It could be something that's really a positive thing or something that's a negative thing. How is it activated in your life? Because Mars activates things. It activates our thoughts. It activates our feelings. It makes us take action, right? So use this energy today to just be mindful, to think about what you know for sure, and then see how that's living in your life. I know now that I knew as a little girl that men were good, that I should never think or say all men are bad or men are dogs. And now, because I held that for all these years, the men in my life are so loyal and kind and loving and compassionate and supportive and sexy and gorgeous and all that stuff, right? Like all that is. And I feel loved and cared for by them, and I get to do that in my life for my son, my uncles, my cousins, like my friends, all of it, because I knew this thing as a child that I listened to, and it shows up in my life today in this very profound way. So I'd love for you to sign up for 13 Moons Initiation. We are just beginning the Aquarius cycle. There'll be a new moon in Aquarius on Friday and a full moon in Leo in 2 weeks from Friday. So we're going to be working on harnessing the energy of your individuality, your individual self. Who are you? So if you want to join, the first month is $20.20. Every month after that is $97. And it is an initiation, and it is something that we do monthly. You can leave if you want to, but I encourage you to stay because we're changing lives in here. This work that I'm doing, there is nothing else like it, and it aligns to the power and the energies of the universe and aligns you in ways that you can't do by, you can't do it. That's all I can say. I can't really explain it, but it's an alignment thing. And so you have to submit to it. And the work that I am doing with Cheryl and Christine over at Progressive Love is a work that helps us really surrender ourselves into this archetypal energy so that we can be renewed. All right. Peace and blessings, everyone. I love you all. Thank you for your comments, your private messages, your donations, giving me money. Like, that's so helpful. Thank you. It really matters. I'm going to be traveling to Tucson this weekend. So if you're in Tucson and you want to come, reach out and I'll give you the information so that you can come and participate in a workshop that I'm going to be doing there. And if you'd like to get readings, I'm available for that. Peace and blessings, everyone. Bye-bye.